Hi, Gordon here with another edition of the Unscripted Series. Today is August the 2nd, I guess, and it's Aaron's birthday. And it's Sunday, and Aaron is off on vacation. He's on the East Coast at their annual Kime Family Cavalcade. So happy birthday to Aaron. You know, if you've watched our videos, you know a bit about how we work. And what I mean by that is that when we come out to the shop, we take the instruments that we're working on and we do one step on them each day. We've broken the instrument build into 14 steps. So there are instruments at every stage of construction in the process. One other thing that I may or may not have told you about is that when one of us starts finish work, and both Aaron and I do finish work, but when one of us starts, that generally we'll keep going and we'll finish on that instrument. So the ones Aaron's working on, he keeps working on, and we generally don't overlap in that part of the process. So there's an interesting artifact that occurs when any of us goes on vacation, and I call it man on the bubble. And the reason is, when I was growing up, I watched the time trials for the Indianapolis 500. And they let 33 cars into the race. And on the last day of time trials, people are just trying to beat the slowest car so that they can get into the race. And that slowest car, at any moment, the 33rd car, they called that the man on the bubble. Well, in this case, it's men and women that own our instruments, so maybe I should call them person on the bubble. But in today's case, it happens to be a man that's on the bubble. And so what I mean by that is the instrument that doesn't get strung. In other words, here we are working on our instruments. We're doing a step every day. They're all moving along through the process. And then, boom, we go on vacation. And what that means when you look at Shop Tracker, you could go look at it right now, is there are instruments at every stage of the process, including step 13. So there's somebody whose instrument was just getting worked on and moved ahead and everything was going great, and they got their bridge glued on, and then boom, we're on vacation for a week. And for a week, nothing happens to any of the instruments, but in this case, the poor instrument, it's sitting there at step 13 and it's not going to get its strings on until, you know, when Aaron comes back, which is going to be in over a week now. So this instrument, this beautiful chocolate heart Myrtle, is owned by David B. And usually I think to write the person. And I did in this case. I wrote to Dave and I said, hey, Dave, you know, I wrote him like a week ahead of when the vacation was. And I said, you know, sort of good news, bad news. The good news is your instrument is going to march right ahead. It's ahead of schedule. That's good. But just so you know, it looks like it's ahead of schedule, but work is going to abruptly halt and it's going to get strung right on schedule. So we never miss our schedule. We always build into that the allowance for vacation, but it's still just sort of alarming, I think, to see that. So right now, Dave B is the man on the bubble, and maybe one of you will be on the bubble sometime and know what it feels like. Anyway, happy birthday to Aaron. I'll catch you on another edition of the Unscripted. Bye-bye.